Hello lovelies, and welcome back to another video. And if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Today I'm going to be going through and taking a look at all of my Icy Eyes winter palette shorts that I created. I had 13 different looks that I made using 13 different winter inspired palettes, and I have all of those palettes here with me today. And so we're just going to go through and take a look at the different looks that I made in each of those shorts and rank them from my least favorite to my favorite in terms of just the looks that I made based on just the colors that I used, the techniques that I used, and just which ones I really enjoyed the most, which ones I felt the best wearing. And I will say this was really hard to do. I was really happy with how all of these looks turned out, and it was definitely very close on a lot of them as I was going through and ranking them, but I felt like that was a really good challenge for me, just to be able to go through and just critique my own work and just to really take a look at what I do the best and what are some things that I can still work on. So I really had fun just going through and taking a look at all of these looks. If you have not seen all of the looks, I started out with a full-length video that was a palette pile for all of the winter palettes. I went through each of these palettes and talked about why I felt like they were a good match for a winter themed look. And so if you're interested in that video, I will put the link in the description box below, as well as a link for all 13 of the shorts. We'll take a look at all 13 of the palettes. I'll throw up some video of the looks that I made for each one, and we're just going to go through and have a good time ranking them. So come along with me and let's make up the rules. Number 13 on the list, which was my least favorite look that I made out of my 13 Icy Eyes look, was going to be the one that I created using the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. I absolutely love this palette. I think the outer packaging is gorgeous, and then the color story inside is absolutely stunning. It is a really, really beautiful palette, and I definitely chose this one just because of all of these really deep tones, especially this blue shade here that I felt really captured winter, and definitely the Switzerland, the packaging really captured the wintertime vibes. And so I really thought this would be a good winter palette, and I like the look that I made with it. The reason this one is coming in at number 13 on the list and the lowest on the list is just because I didn't feel like this look that I created was overly wintry. I definitely didn't feel like it fit as well into the theme as some of the other more blue inspired looks that I created. I did try to kind of do something a little bit unique with this look, and I used the blue as an inner corner highlight. Unfortunately, that didn't work the way that I had hoped or intended for it to, just because this blue really is so dark. It ended up making the inner corner really dark, and it just wasn't my favorite. I wasn't overly thrilled with how it turned out, so that's why I'm ranking this one the lowest at number 13. Number 12 on the list is coming from a palette that I added to my collection at the end of 2025. It was this brand's last release of the year, and it's from Nomad Cosmetics. It was the Chris Kindlemark palette, and I really hate to rank this one so low because I really like this palette a lot. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and the color story inside is completely beautiful, and it really just captures Christmas and winter time so well. I will say for this one, this was more my technique and my application that I'm ranking this look that I made so low. It has nothing really to do with the palette or the color story. It was more just the look that I ended up making. I really debated on if I wanted to put these two blue shades on my lid, all over the lid, and that was what I originally intended to do with this palette, but when it came time to make my look, I ended up deciding to do more of a neutral look with some blue in the lower lash line, and I thought it turned out pretty. I thought it was nice, but it was a very neutral, just very plain kind of look, and it definitely just wasn't my favorite out of all of the Icy Eyes looks that I made. So that's why I'm ranking this look just a little bit lower, just because the look that I ended up creating wasn't as intriguing or as exciting as some of the other ones that are ranked a little bit higher. The next palette that I'm going to be putting on my ranking is from Cosmic Beauty, and it is the Serenity palette. This one was a beautiful look. I was really happy with the application that I made. This is such a beautiful color story, and I think it really does capture winter very well. I had several people tell me in the comment under the palette pile video that they didn't really think of Serenity as a wintry palette, but that my palette pile video maybe kind of changed their mind a little bit, and that this was something that they started to see as more of a wintry palette. So I thought that was really cool, just to be able to kind of think outside the box and to really have a color story that can really go for a lot of different seasons or a lot of different kinds of looks. So I really enjoyed getting to kind of put this one into a winter list and really getting to expand my horizon and try to make this more wintry. I do wish when I created this look that I would have played more into the blues. I think I moved a little too much into the green and had a lot of green towards the inner corner, and that's really why I'm ranking this one a little bit lower on the list. I thought the application was nice. I thought the look itself was really pretty and it felt really nice to wear, but I do feel like I, in my application, ended up using too much green, and it took it more from a wintry look more into a spring kind of look, and I wish that I would have done more of the blue. So that's why I'm ranking this one a little bit lower on this list. Number 10 on this list is another palette that I really love, and really the ranking on this one has nothing to do so much with the palette or the color story or the formula. It's more just about how I ended up applying the eyeshadow and the way that I kind of felt about it afterward. And so this one is coming from Andrea Marie Cosmetics, and it is the Icy Praise palette. I really love this palette a lot. It is a nice little 9-pan palette that's perfect for winter time. It is absolutely stunning. It is beautiful blue shades in here. I love that even for a 9-pan palette and for this to be mostly blue, I do feel like there's a lot of versatility in here. A third of the palette is whites and silver. We've got some kind of bluish green shade and then some darker blues in here. So I really think there's just so much to work with. When I made my initial video using this palette, and I can put the link for that in the description box as well, I really focused more on these deeper blue shades. So as I was making my Icy Eyes shorts, I really wanted to focus a little bit more on these kind of bluish green shades here, and I was really glad that I did. I thought that the look turned out really pretty. I really enjoyed using these two shades, Spirit of Peace and Crystal River, to create a really nice kind of bluish green look, and I really enjoyed using a lot of the white up in my crease and creating a really nice kind of light inner corner for this look. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like my application was the best. I didn't think this was the cleanest look, and so that's why I'm ranking this particular look a little bit lower on the list. Coming in at number 9 on our ranking is going to be another little monochromatic 9-pan palette, and this one is from ColourPop. This one is the Blue Moon palette. It is a really pretty palette. I really like this one, and I really like the color story. It's very unique. It's very pretty. It's definitely got a lot of versatility to it. Maybe not as much as the Andrea Marie Cosmetics palette. It's mostly some of these deep, darker blue shades, but I definitely like this Billie Jean shimmer in the middle. I think it gives a lot of just versatility and just kind of a really pretty, just kind of almost purple look into this palette that gives it a little bit more interesting dynamic and a little bit more dimension to the palette itself. I will say for this look, I'm starting to move more into the looks that I liked a lot more, and that I'm really starting to rank them more just on kind of in a difficult way, the ones that I like the least and the ones that I like the most, even though I really liked all of them. For this one, I really liked the look that I made. I thought it was very pretty, very blue. I liked that I had a wing with it that really kind of broke up the blue and added some black eyeliner into it. But I will say I'm ranking this one just a little bit lower just because of the lower lash line. I felt like the blue that I ended up using was a little bit more on the neon side. It was a very bright kind of electric blue, and that wasn't exactly what I intended. The upper lid, as I did the eyeshadow, I felt like it was a lot cooler and softer and more muted, and then kind of that electric blue on the bottom was kind of a lot with the look. So that's why I'm ranking this one a little bit lower on the list, just because I wasn't in love with the lower lash line. For the next palette on the list, I actually surprisingly really like this look. I didn't know if I would love the look that I'd make with this palette, but I very much enjoyed creating it. I thought it was very different than the other looks that I made in this series, and I was really happy with it. It comes from Taste Beauty, and it is the Tinkerbell palette. I picked this one up at TJ Maxx a while back, and it is a beautiful color story. I think it perfectly captures Tinkerbell and just her character and so much of just kind of the color stories from Peter Pan and just all of those kinds of vibes. I really like this palette a lot. I think it's really pretty. It's definitely very unique in my collection. I really like the look that I made. I ended up creating more of a neutral kind of look using a lot of these shades up here, and then I really included a very bright inner corner highlight with this nice icy blue. So I thought it was really pretty to kind of create almost like a dead tree forest look with a little pop of ice and just the snow and the ice from wintertime. And so I really liked how that look turned out. I liked the vibe and the theme of it. I will say the reason I'm ranking this look a little bit lower is just because of my technique and my application. I feel like for the blue inner corner, I could have made it a little bit brighter. I was thinking if I would have put some concealer on my inner corner just to really mattify it and then put this on top, I think it really would have made it pop a lot more. It definitely came out more muted than I hoped it would. It was pretty, but definitely just not as bright and as impactful as I was hoping. Some of that may be the formula of this. This is a little bit of a cheaper palette, but I do think some of that was my application. But either way, that's why I'm ranking this one a little bit lower on the list. It's just because I really wanted a nice pop of blue and it wasn't as impactful as I had hoped. Number 7 on the list is another palette that's pretty new to my collection, and I absolutely love this palette. If you have seen me talk about this one, you know that this is one of my new favorite palettes in my collection. It is the Come Play With Us palette from Bella Beauté Bar. So I really hate that this one kind of ended up a little more on the middle of my list for my ranking. Of course, it is not because of the palette itself. It is more just because of the look that I created, that it just wasn't as impactful or as bright or as colorful as some of the other looks that I made. But this palette is absolutely stunning. I don't think I will ever get tired of looking at this color story. It is so gorgeous and I am absolutely in love with it. The quality of this palette is amazing. If you have not seen my initial video that I made the first time that I used this, I'll put the link in the description box below. Definitely go check it out. It was absolutely stunning. I love taking the swatches of it and really getting to use this palette. But for my Icy Eyes look, this one was just a little bit more muted in terms of the blues. The blues in here are so beautiful and bright and vibrant, but when I applied them on the eyes, I felt like it was a little more muted than some of the other looks that I created. And I did like having the blue on the top of the eyes and then more of the browns and the neutrals on the bottom. I felt like it kind of grounded the blues a little bit and made this a little bit of a softer look. Unfortunately, I just didn't feel like the look itself was as impactful as I had hoped it would be, so that's why I'm ranking this one just a little bit lower on the list. Of course, not because of the color story, just because of the look that I made, especially compared to some of the other ones that are higher up on the list. The next look that's going to be on this list is going to be from Wet n Wild. This is from their Disney Villains collection. This is the beautiful Destroyer palette. This one is based on Maleficent and Ursula, and it's really easy to see why I picked this one to go into a winter look, just because of the blues and the purples in here. It is such a beautiful palette. I think for a drugstore brand, this is great quality, and I really enjoy using this. I like these little pan palettes. This one was one of two that came in the same collection. So I did film an initial video with this one as well, swatching the palette along with all of the other items that came in that collection that were based on Maleficent and Ursula. So I can put the link for that in the description box as well. Definitely go check that out. I really like the look that I made with this one. I'm definitely getting more into some of the looks that were my favorites from my Icy Eyes series. And this one I really liked just because I felt like it was very wintry and very pretty. I loved having the purples and the blues kind of combined together, and then mixing it with this beautiful shade right here was so stunning because this one is kind of one of those duochromes that's got some purple and some blue in it. So I really felt like that really tied the look together and created a beautiful look that was very cohesive and really captured the winter spirit. The next palette on the list is another 9-pan monochromatic palette that comes from ColourPop, and this is the On Cloud Blue palette. This one is another really pretty light blue palette. This one is definitely a lot lighter than the Blue Moon palette. It's got just a little bit more of just kind of an iridescence to it and more of just that kind of light pastel kind of vibe. It's a really pretty palette, and I was really happy with the look that I created with this. I thought the application was really nice. It was a very just kind of even, well applied, clean look, and I really liked this shade here in the middle, this D Light, and applying that one as sort of a chopper shade on top of some of the other shimmers I thought was really pretty and definitely gave this more of an icy vibe and really matched the winter theme. Number 4 on this list is going to be another Cosmic Beauty palette, and this is the Winter Wonderland palette. This is one of the most quintessential winter palettes that you can have in your collection. It is absolutely gorgeous. I really love this color story. I've loved it ever since I first saw it. This was the first palette that I picked up from Cosmic Beauty, and I absolutely am in love with it. I really enjoy creating a look with this one, especially using this beautiful atmosphere shade. It is so shifty and so beautiful. And I put this all over the lid. I thought that looked gorgeous. It turned out really nice. I really created a very minty teal kind of look with some purples along the lower lash line, and I really like the combination of those different colors, especially being tied together with this atmosphere shade that as you turn your head it shifts from sort of teal to sort of purple, and so I thought that was really pretty and a very cohesive look. The reason I'm ranking this one just a little bit lower is just because it was a very dark look. I did feel like it was well blended, it was well applied. I just felt like with the lipstick that I had on and the eyeshadow that I had on, it was just a little bit on the dark side and a little bit heavy. I like dramatic makeup. I think it looked really pretty and I was happy with how I applied it. But that just as I'm choosing where to rank all of these, that was a reason that I would rank this one maybe just a little bit lower, is I felt like I could have made the look just a little bit lighter, but overall I was very happy with this look and I thought it turned out really nice. We have officially made it to the top 3 looks on this ranking. Number 3 is going to be the look that I created using a palette from Hard Candy, and this is from their Girl Scout collection. This is the Buttery Bestie eyeshadow palette. This was such a beautiful look and I absolutely loved using this. I created a very neutral look using this palette. Of course, that's most of what's in here are just those shortbread cookie kind of neutrals, but I love that there are some pops of blue in here. For this look, I ended up applying this really dark blue matte all over the lid, and then this pressed glitter blue up here I pressed right on top of it using some of my NYX glitter primer really to make it pop and to make it shine, and I was so happy with how this look turned out. I thought that the shimmer on top of the matte blue was so beautiful, and this really was one of my favorite looks that I made for my Icy Eyes short. The only reason this one is coming in at number 3 instead of number 1 is just because I felt like with the pressed glitter it was a little bit messy in terms of my application. The glitter kind of got everywhere, which is to be expected with pressed glitter. And I feel like I didn't have enough time to apply it as well as I had hoped. So I got a little bit of this dark blue matte kind of underneath my eye, and it was just messy, and so that's why I'm ranking this one just a little bit lower. But in terms of the actual look that I created, the way that I felt wearing it, I thought it was really pretty, and I really wanted to rank this one very high on the list just because it was such a beautiful look. Number 2 on the list was the look that I made using the Gourmand Girls Frozen Kiss palette. This is another beautiful quintessential winter palette, and the color story is absolutely stunning. I love this color story. This is another one that's pretty new to my collection. I just got it at the end of last year, and I created a beautiful purple look with this the first time I made a look, and if you're interested in that, I can put the link for that in the description box below as well. But I just was so happy with the look that I made for my Icy Eyes series using this palette. I thought it was really pretty. It was a really fun mix of mint and blue and purple shades and really created just such a unique and fun look. I really enjoyed using this Frosted Kiss shade here as an inner corner highlight, just adding a little pop of pink into this look. And then the shimmers that I put across the lid, I thought blended beautifully together. I used the Ice Crystal shade, the Snow Globe shade, and the Blue Stars shade, and I thought they just blended seamlessly into each other, and I thought the application on this look was really pretty, so that's why this one is coming in at number 2. And we have finally made it to number 1 on this Icy Eyes Shorts ranking video, and this is the look that I created using the ColourPop Cosmetics palette from Toy Story, the Toys Are Here palette. I love this palette so much. It is so cute and so fun, and the color story inside is absolutely gorgeous. It has so many fun, bright colors in here. It's got some neutrals. It's really got just about everything you could want. I really liked the look that I created using this one. It was a nice, just light pastel kind of look. I used some of the pinks, this yellow, these light blues, and then even some of these kind of neutral shades. And then I had a beautiful pure white inner corner highlight using this white matte, and it was so beautiful. I absolutely love an inner corner white matte highlight. If you've been watching any of my recent videos, you've probably heard me say that several times. I absolutely love it. I think it's so pretty, it's so bright, so vibrant, and really just creates such a beautiful look using just that matte white. So I was really happy with just the application of this look. I thought that everything just blended seamlessly together. I really liked the colors that I chose. I really themed this one. If you read the caption on the video, I really kind of focused more on the sunrise over just kind of an icy world, and really just kind of melting and just seeing all of the pinks and the yellows and all of that blend of color. So I thought that the color scheme of this look was just really creative and unique. I really enjoyed creating something that was wintry, but also had just a little bit more of a story behind it. And so that's really why I ranked this one at number 1, and why this was my favorite of my Icy Eyes looks. And I would also like to give an honorable mention to a palette that I did not have when I originally filmed my palette pile for the winter palette or any of the shorts, and that is the Nomad Cosmetics Polar Express palette. This one came pretty recently, and it's actually the one that I have on my eyes today. If you'd like to see that video, check out the link in the description box below, and I'll put that down there. But this palette is absolutely stunning, and I really enjoyed getting to use this one and really getting to create just this beautiful blue icy wintry look. And so I really just wanted to mention this one because unfortunately it didn't make it in the Icy Eyes shorts, but it's definitely a perfectly wintry palette that I've recently added to my collection, and I just wanted to share. I really enjoyed creating all of these different shorts for my Icy Eyes series, and really just getting to dive into the winter season and just creating some beautiful seasonal looks. I hope that you've enjoyed following along, and if you haven't seen them already, if you would like to go back and watch all of those videos, I definitely would appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed getting to see them, and I just had so much fun just picking out all of these palettes from my collection that I think perfectly capture winter and the winter season, and I hope that you enjoyed this as well. I really appreciate you clicking on this video and taking the time to hang out with me. This has been so much fun, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below what your favorite of my Icy Eyes looks was, or if there are any palettes that you think I should add to my winter collection. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more palette piles or short tutorials or other ranking videos like this, then please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'd love for you to stick around. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.